What does it mean for me to be of Caribbean descent? It means a lot of things, and sometimes that it changes. I mean, it means to be of the world. It means to be someone that is from every continent in the world. That, as Minshall would say, to be at the tip of the spear that enters into the new century, the new horizon, right? It's someone that is from a culture and is from a place that has been created, and I think represents something very unique in the world, somewhat of a hybrid of an individual, of a population. And oftentimes, I don't know what it means to be Caribbean. To tell you the truth, I think sometimes what it means to be Caribbean, particularly when you're not living in the Caribbean, is sometimes hard to pin down. It's sometimes hard to really put your finger on because you're in a space that doesn't always acknowledge your presence. And for me, of late, working on my projects as a filmmaker, it's been more and more crystal clear that we come from a space where a lot of change needs to happen. A lot of impact needs to occur. It's extremely important that we are heard, our voices are heard, and that our point of view in the world is acknowledged. And by first, we have to acknowledge it. We have to represent it. And then we need to use everything, all of our craft, our knowledge, our intellect, our talent, our skills to send that message and to craft that message at the highest possible level. As a filmmaker, making films and telling story cinematically, I am curious about what is that, how can we embrace our unique way of telling stories, right? How do we know what we do as storytellers and filter that through whether it's a cinematic lens or filter that through whether it's in theater, and going back to where we are in the Caribbean and saying, no, but how do we tell stories? How do we tell it? And not being afraid to utilize that and bring it into any various discipline now that we're approaching. And I think that's a constant quest. I don't think it's one thing. I think it could be many different ways. But I'm really curious to find out what that is and what that means for me personally. Yeah.